All right, Patrick, now that we finished your assessment, we decided goals are going to be the thing we're going to work on. Good with that? All right, so we're going to work on a thing called SMART goals. So we're going to watch a video, we're going to go through it. SMART is an acronym, so we're going to cover that, and then we're going to go through it. If you have any questions, just let me know.
The 2-minute classroom, and today we're talking about setting goals using the SMART method. Goal setting is a great activity anytime, but is especially popular around New Year's, at the start of the school year, and the beginning of sports season. I would love to hear some of your goals in the comments, and I'll put some of mine in the description below. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. We'll go through each of these using the example goal of doing well on your next exam, a common goal for students. The first step is to make the goal specific. Doing well on your next step is to make the goal specific.
Okay, so you know what the word specific means? We're going to start with the first S. You know what specific means?
Yes.
What is specific?
It's specific about something.
Right, so it means like right to the point about one thing that you want to set your goal about. If I was going to be a specific thing about a goal, I would say like I want to learn how to, boom, that's the specific thing. So I want to learn how to cook. So I want to learn how to cook better, or I want to learn how to cook certain things, so that's what specific means. So just keep that in mind as you're watching. Good to go?
Specific. Doing well on your next exam is not specific. Try to answer the questions of what, when, and why. Let's specify your what as scoring at least 90% on your next science exam. For the when, it'll be whatever the exam is. Let's say it's in 4 weeks. The why is very important, as this is your motivation for the goal and something you can look back on if you get discouraged. It could be to improve your grade in the course, to score higher than a friend, or because you want to get into a great university. Whatever will motivate you to keep working on the goal. So now we have a much more specific...
So do you see where the what, when, and why comes from? So the what is right there. The why, you understand the why?
Yeah.
You want to do it for like self-improvement or anything like that. Do you understand where the when is?
Yes.
So the when is like when it'll take place. So always keep in mind the most important thing sometimes is going to be the why, because that's going to be your motivation of why you want to accomplish your goal and why you want to keep your goal going. Make sense? So say my goal is, I want to do something, cook better, like we're talking about cooking. Why do I want to cook better? Because I like cooking, I enjoy it, and it's fun. So that'll always kind of be like your underlying motivation. Here we go.
Our goal. Score at least 90% on the next science exam 4 weeks from now to help you get to a great university. This goal is looking great, but we're not done yet. The next step is to make sure the goal is measurable. That means there are some metrics attached to the goal to let you know if you reach your goal or not. Looking back at our goal, we see that it is to score at least 90%. This is very measurable, and once you've taken the test and received a score, you will know whether or not you hit the goal. This is why doing well in your next exam is a poor goal. It is not measurable, and there is no clear way to define success or failure. The next step is...
So you see what the M is, it was S and then M. Does measurable make sense as far as...
Yes.
So if your goal, say if my goal was to lose weight, and I weighed 250 pounds, you're like, okay, where do I want to get? I want to get to 200 pounds. If you give yourself a certain amount of time and you look around and you go, I haven't been working on my goal, what would tell you you're not working on your goal? You're measurable. And where would be a good measurement at? If I was 250 and I said, Patrick, I want to get to 200, and it had been some time, and where would my weight would be? And you'd be like, you're not making good enough progress. Would it be like 249, 248?
Maybe like 240.
Yeah, you'd be like, hey, you're supposed to be getting down almost 50 pounds. You're not getting there quite fast enough. So that's where measurable comes in, because it keeps track of your goal. It lets you know where your goal is and how you're basically measuring.
To check whether the goal is achievable or not. In this step, you want to break the goal down and answer the question of how you will achieve this goal. What do you need to do in the next 4 weeks to get at least 90% on the exam? Some examples may include taking notes in class, spending 30 minutes 3 nights per week studying for the exam, and partnering with a friend a week before the exam to review notes and go through a study guide. The point is, you need a plan. Break the goal down into smaller goals that all feed up to the main goal. This will give you a clear path to success. The fourth step is to ensure the goal is relevant.
So, achievable. Does achievable make sense as far as the goal? Because if I told you, all right, my goal is I want to be 7 feet tall. Is that realistic?
No.
Because it's not achievable. You want it to be something that you can achieve. I want to make more money. And you're like, okay, how much money? It's got to be measurable, right? Say I want to make $25 more each week than I did the week before or anything like that. That's a little bit more measurable. That's a little bit more achievable, right? I don't like to use the word like realistic, but it's kind of like along the lines of that. Make sense?
Yes.
So we got to keep all those in mind when we start measuring out goals.
And this step is more of a gut check to see if it fits well with your life right now. Ask yourself the following questions. Does this goal align with my long-term objectives? Does it keep me on track with other goals in my life? Will focusing on this goal pull me away from other more important goals? After thinking through this step, you should feel confident your goal is relevant and be even more motivated to achieve.
Okay, these are some of the more important things right here that I think when kids make their goals, or anybody does, they get lost about this. So does this goal align with my long-term objectives? So it has to go with what you're doing in your life. If it doesn't and it's just kind of random, say you're like, you know what, I'm gonna be a tennis player, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna work out for tennis, and I'm gonna be a helicopter pilot. Do you see where the correlation is missing? Like it's kind of way apart. It's got to kind of be relevant in what you're doing. So another one is, does it keep me on track for other goals in your life? Or is it just random, like way out in left field? And there's nothing wrong with that if it's going to be out there like that, but it would make it a lot more harder for you to achieve it if it doesn't align with everything else in your life, because you have to go way out of your way to work on it. So the other one is, will focusing on this goal pull me away from other more important goals? So I want you to make a goal, but I want you to also have the goal so that way it doesn't pull you away from all your regular responsibilities. You're at school, taking care of your stuff at home, anything like that. So that way you can still achieve your goals and you can still do things. It's okay to dream or anything like that, but I want it to be something that's achievable, relevant, and measurable. Good to go, Patrick? Okay, thank you.
Achieve it. Scoring at least 90% on your next science exam is relevant because it will give you confidence in school and feed into larger goals around future education and career. The last step is to make the goal time-bound. A time-bound deadline acts as a target and helps you work backwards and set smaller steps to get there. If you set a fitness goal to do 100 consecutive push-ups, but don't set a deadline to reach that goal, then it probably won't happen. Hitting a certain score on an exam is time-bound by default, because there is a specific date for the exam, which allows us to break the goal into smaller steps leading up to the exam. And here's a bonus tip. If you truly want to reach your goals, then you have to write them down and look at them often. I recommend keeping a daily or weekly planner to track.
Does that make sense right there?
Yes.
With writing them down, so you fill that out. This right here is what keeps you accountable for your goals. It's also another way of measuring them. And then once you have the time in there, we know when you started, when you're gonna go, so it's not just like, hey, my goal's for this, I'll get around to it, I'll get around this, you don't procrastinate, but you can always get back to your goals. So having a planner, tracker, anything like that is another measurable for you to have personally, so every once in a while you can check on yourself, check in, make sure you're getting the progress you want. If you're not getting the progress you want, all right, I need to move forward a little faster. Just kind of a self-check.
Check your progress. I put some excellent planner recommendations in the description that will help you make your goals a reality. Remember to share your goals in the comments. I'll read and respond to as many of them as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
Thank you. So we're gonna make a quick goal right now. You ready for that? Let me get you a piece of paper real quick. We'll make a quick goal. We're gonna say where you are now and where you'd like to be, let's say 3 years and 5 years. Sound good?
Yeah.
You wanna write it right there on the back of that? You can write it right here. We put a couple squares right here. We put up here, and then we'll do your goals first, and then I'll do my goals, and then we'll share them. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. So I'll put a square, like how the ones we had on the screen before. Like this, you can put where you are now. 3 years, where you would like to be, and then 5 years. They don't have to be in there, just a couple that you'd like to see, like where you are now and how you're doing, and then where you'd like to be 3 years from now and 5 years from now. pretty good there. Ready? All right, I'm gonna share some of mine. You tell me what you think. Tell me if they hit the SMART acronym, right? See if you see the measurables, the specifics. So right now I'm teaching. I'd like to be a better teacher from 5 years from now. So my plan I would put in there to be a better teacher is keep learning, keep going to keep taking classes, keep picking up things on the internet, go to, they have workshops for teachers and stuff like that. And then I put up one that's kind of like another goal, it's like a dream goal, or a goal that I can obtain that's a little bit easier. I don't have that much hair now, 5 years, more hair. How's that sound? You can donate some of yours? Just joking. That's another goal you can put right there. So you can make it personal or professional. Does it make sense?
Yes.
So all of them would be professional or personal to you now. Another goal for you could be, say, I want to get in better shape or I want to run a marathon, right? So I want to run a marathon. What would I need to do to run a marathon? Besides just run, right? And this is a perfect way to put it into goals. So you know how long a marathon is? You don't have to guess it. So a marathon is 26.5 miles. So you're looking at me, you think I'm gonna go out there and run 26.5 miles right now?
Yes.
I wish, I'll probably collapse. So let me give you an example. We're right here at Gompers, right? 26.5 miles would be to Del Mar. Do you think I could run from here to Del Mar? Yeah, you don't have to answer that, I'll answer for you. No. So that's 26.5 miles, right? So what I would do is I would break it down into a timeline and make it more realistic for me. So half marathon, obviously you're good at math, is 13, and usually they go 13.1 is what they call a half marathon. So I want to work my way up to 13.1. That would be my goal in, let's say, 2 to 3 months. So in order to do that, I would have to break it down week by week, day by day. I'm going to run X amount of miles, so you kind of get the gist of that, right? I'm going to run this many miles. I'm going to work my way from, say right now I can do 4 miles to here and then to there. So it's going to be a process, right? It's not easy to do. So 4 to 13, that's almost tripling it, right? And then right here it's doubling it. So it's a big goal. I may not make it, I may make it, but I'm going to give it a try. You know, maybe that's something I could do. Will I realistically make it in, say, a month? Probably not. I'd probably give myself for this one 3-4 months, maybe 6 months, depending on how I'm progressing on it and stuff. So do you have any goals with yours that you want to share with me? And remember, all the goals are good, none of them are wrong. If you're shy, it's okay, you don't have to. None? Not even one? What about Snickers bars goals? How many can you eat in a minute? Don't answer that. You want me to share another goal of mine with you? 5. I was joking. You can eat 5? It's way too many. Way too many. It's way too much sugar, and your parents will not be happy. Neither would your dentist. Well, your dentist will probably be happy. Just not what you've done. So, you understand about goals? All right. For one Snickers bar, what does the first S in SMART mean? In the SMART goal, it's an acronym. What does the S mean?
Specific.
You want a Snickers bar. Good job. What does the M mean?
Measurable.
Oh, you want another Snickers bar. And what does the T mean? The very one.
Kinda.
Oh, you want it all. All right, good job. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, we'll take a 2-minute break and then we'll get back to it, all right?